What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to discuss everything airdrops. So an airdrop is essentially just something dropped directly into your MetaMask wallet. It's basically just a stimulus check for people within the cryptocurrency and NFT ecosystems. In the past, we've seen multiple airdrops do extremely well and potentially give people upwards of like tens of thousands of dollars for basically free. And so I think in general, these airdrops accomplish a few things. One, it kind of injects extra liquidity into the ecosystems, whether that's cryptocurrency or NFT markets, and that is basically beneficial for the entire ecosystem as a whole. Beyond that, for the company or entity looking to do this airdrop, it's great organic marketing for the company itself, whether it's a website they're trying to push, whether it's a marketplace or a tool set or whatever it is. It gets a ton of people talking about it, it gets a ton of people excited, and it gets a ton of traffic to your actual websites or marketplaces or whatever the entity actually is. Make sure to check out my private Discord, link in the description below. We have some really cool stuff coming very soon for the group with weekly loot boxes, which you'll be able to open, and access to our Vinland City Vault, which will be opening very soon. So I'm very excited to share more about that stuff, but if you're looking to get access to a very small group of experienced investors who get access to a ton of different opportunities, including a ton of different whitelist spots, check out the link in the description below. And so the airdrop we're going to mainly be talking about today is Blur. And Blur is a new NFT marketplace that has been out for a few months now, and they've had multiple seasons, multiple phases of their airdrop so far. A lot of you guys watching this channel probably got a Blur airdrop and probably understand at least a little bit about what's going on with the current setup for Blur. But just in case there's new people here and they didn't hear about it, Blur is essentially an NFT marketplace with a bunch of kind of degenerate degen tools built into it. So you can sweep, you can mass list, you can mass bid, etc. So it's a great marketplace overall with very low fees or potentially zero fees for buying, selling, trading NFTs in general. So I think the way Blur has done their different phases of the airdrop has been really smart. But essentially phase one was, okay, if you use our platform, you will get these boxes, and these boxes will contain something. And at the time, we didn't know exactly what was in the boxes, but they basically gave you tasks to complete. So, hey, if you use our system, if you use our marketplace and you list or you sell and you use royalties or you sweep or you bid or whatever it was, we will give you boxes, and we'll give you boxes according to how much you actually use our service. So there was a ton of speculation around what actually might be in the Blur boxes, but we found out a couple days ago that it was actually token, the Blur token. So depending on your boxes and a bunch of different factors, whether it was an uncommon box up to a mythical box, you got a certain amount of token in said box that was airdropped to your wallet only a few days ago. So there was a ton of opportunity here to use this system to your advantage, whether it was, okay, I'm basically going to use Blur as my all-in marketplace to make sure I get as many boxes and as much token allocation as possible. So I'm gonna list NFTs, I'm going to sweep, I'm going to bid, I'm going to set up a bot where I'm gonna bid as much as I can and get as much of these tokens and these boxes as I possibly can. And if you weren't lazy and you were in the know, whether you're a part of Discords like mine or any other Discord that were talking about this stuff, you could have gotten access to a ton of Blur token. And so just to preface this, before we look at the Blur token chart, I want to go over that there was a few miscalculations, I think, from the Blur team. One, they didn't tell US citizens that they would not be able to claim. So US citizens have been using the Blur marketplace, listing, bidding, sweeping, but no one knew that they wouldn't be able to claim. You could claim if you used a VPN or moved houses and got a passport or whatever, but technically that is illegal. I also don't think they were completely transparent with the token allocation and the tokenomics behind the airdrop. I believe that the token airdrop to retail investors like you and me was only about 12% of the pie. The large majority of the pie is going towards people who invested in the platform itself, and their token is vested for like 1 to 3 years. And so I saw a few people on Twitter a little bit salty about that. They also made you tweet on Twitter. It was something that you had to do to be able to actually claim your tokens. So before you got access to these tokens, you had to send a tweet publicly to actually claim them. And so for me, that's kind of lame, but I understood why they did it. Once again, it's another huge organic marketing factor, and they definitely are spending a ton of money giving these tokens away, which presumably will have X amount of value over time, depending on how the marketplace does. But for me personally, personally, Blur Marketplace has been a very positive experience. So, sweeping, listing, bidding, whatever it was I decided to do on the platform was really great. It was fast, it worked really well. For the most part, there was no hiccups, and just in general, it was a much more clean and better experience than OpenSea. I just want to make this super clear. This video is in no way sponsored by Blur. I just want to talk about a couple airdrops that are upcoming, including the Blur Season 2 section, which we'll talk about very soon in this video. All right, guys, so we are looking at the Blur chart right now, and this chart doesn't tell the whole story because the website had some issues when you were claiming the token, and a lot of people weren't able to claim as quickly as they may have wanted. So I think the token price started out at a very high price of like, $4 or $5, but at that point, not many people had been able to claim. There wasn't much volume or liquidity. So I would say the vast majority of volume that has happened for this current token that has only been live for like 72 hours, depending on when this video goes live, has happened below $1. And as you can see on this chart right in front of us, the token price is currently sitting around like anywhere from like 80 to $1, 80 cents to $1. And that is incredibly bullish in my opinion. Basically, people, depending on how much you traded on Blur, received anywhere from like a couple $1,000s to like hundreds of thousands of dollars. The people on the top 100 leaderboard that were given like a multiplier for their token allocation made basically generational wealth. And obviously they had to spend a ton of money to bid and sweep and list and do all these things. But this token has yielded a ton of money for people who got the airdrop. And frankly, I was pretty surprised of how well this token's doing. We're in a macro bear market. Inflation's still fairly high. Not as many people have as much money to play with. And we saw a ton of buying support for this Blur token. And it dropped down to all the way to below 50 cents. And now we're sitting at, 93 cents or something like that at the current time of this video. This could vastly change by the time this video comes out, but at the current time of this video, it's about 93 cents. So, if you claimed, 8,000 tokens in your airdrop, you're sitting on a bag of like $10,000. So it's really, really bullish, and I'm excited to see what happens with this token in the near future. I have not bought a single dollar of Blur token on secondary on the open market, but I'll be watching it like a hawk because a lot of people got this airdrop. And what we've seen in the past with the SOS airdrop, if you were around for that, the Looks Rare airdrop, which was another NFT marketplace, is a lot of these tokens seem to do well over the course of like 24 to 72 hours, and then it's like a slow bleed to death. But what Blur is doing that's a little bit different is there's going to be a season 2. So there was like phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 for season 1. And now there's going to be season 2, which we'll kind of go over in this video today. And I think that's going to help support the Blur token price because people are going to continue to still use the marketplace and make use of the token and the marketplace in general. And so if you check out their website right now, it looks like season 2, the campaign behind season 2 has not entirely been revealed. But what they do say in the description is you can start to bid and list and sweep and would do whatever you want to get a head start on season 2 rewards. So I will be doing just that. I'm going to be continuing to use Blur and the marketplace because the token price is doing really well. And if you can farm more token allocation for in the future, betting on the token price continuing to do well, I think it's a decent sign that season 2 might be successful like season 1 was. So as an NFT goer or someone who's in the cryptocurrency scene, I would not sleep on this. A lot of people made a bunch of money off this airdrop. And if you're going to use an NFT marketplace already, you might as well use this one where you can farm rewards for a token that is actually doing pretty well right now. So take a look at Blur season 2. Don't fade it, bid, list, sweep, whatever you got to do. Do your normal degen NFT activities on this marketplace instead and reap the rewards later. I know a bunch of people in my Discord and, on Twitter and stuff are like, oh man, I wish I had done more. I think we're all in that same boat. I think there's 2 other airdrops that I think we should have on our radar. One is the Gonna Make It marketplace airdrop. They have like a referral link stuff, and I'll link mine in the description below, but it's a little bit Ponzi in the way that like affiliate programs can be a little bit Ponzi, but it essentially is, okay, you share my link and you'll get this, and then I'll get this if I share your link, and then I share my link and I get this, and it kind of ends up being a little bit like a triangle or like a circle where things kind of go a little bit circular, and then everybody starts making more token and gets multipliers, etc., etc. But this could very well be the next marketplace that has some sort of airdrop that gives you a little bit of a stimmy check, right? So what I'll say is I don't think the Gonna Make It marketplace is nearly as hyped as Blur was, and the marketplace, I don't think to my knowledge is even out at the moment, so people really don't know if it's going to be a marketplace worth even using. But regardless, I would say front running these airdrops potentially is low effort with potential high rewards down the line, whether you show your referral referral link in a YouTube description like I will, or, you do it on Twitter, or you talk about it in Discord, who knows, maybe it'll be a couple $100 extra in your pocket when this marketplace goes live and the airdrop ends up happening. And so the next airdrop I want to talk about, which I think we should apply the same principles for Blur and Gonna Make It, is basically just use it, experiment with it, get some token. You can't really lose. Maybe you lose a little bit of time and the token's not worth that much, but I think the risk and the potential upside outweighs any sort of time commitment you might put into this stuff. So the next airdrop token marketplace we're going to be talking about is Magically. And I believe they're either partnered with Alpha Sharks or they are Alpha Sharks, and it's been like a little bit of a rebrand. Regardless, Alpha Sharks has been and continues to be a tool set that people use to watch listings and sweep and bid and snipe. And, they have their own Discord and they partner with a bunch of people that I know. And from what I've seen and heard is essentially Alpha Sharks is a great tool set and works really well. So if they can make a marketplace that people also want to use that ends up being something really cool, this airdrop could do well as well. But if you take here and you look at the description, we are celebrating our launch with one of the biggest token airdrops. The first airdrop is now live. So if you missed this first claim, that's totally fine. So what you can do is you can just keep your eye on Magically, and there are 2 more snapshots, I imagine, or 2 more sections of this airdrop to come. And you can see that here. The first airdrop is now live with 2 more to come. Magically tokens are our way of appreciating the community and supporters of the platform. So once again, like I said at the start of this video, it's a great way to give back. It's a great way for organic marketing. And in general, it doesn't cost the company doing this all that much. So there are 2 more to come for Magically. And if you missed the first, you can definitely get involved with part 2 and part 3. So Gonna Make It Marketplace, Magically part 2 and part 3, and Blur season 2 are all things I personally will be paying attention to and looking to get involved in, because this Blur airdrop ended up doing really, really well. And I definitely don't want to be missing out on any potential future stimulus checks. As a NFT and cryptocurrency ecosystem participant, I definitely don't want to be missing out on these opportunities. All right, guys, so I will link all 3 of these marketplaces, of these airdrops, in the description below, so check those out. But right now we're going to talk about Ethereum and the current price movement we are currently experiencing. So once again, this video probably won't come out for another 48, 72 hours. And so the current chart you see in front of you is going to be very different. Regardless, what we have seen is quite a bit of a decent price movement to the upside. We're now sitting at around $1,660 per Ethereum. And off the back of that news where the SEC cracked down on staking with Kraken, we saw a retrace for Ethereum all the way down to about $1,500. And so what we've seen is quite a bit of bounce from those local lows to currently where we're currently at. And I don't really have much to say around this current price movement. I just want to keep you guys updated with the current Ethereum price. But regardless, things are looking pretty decent. And I actually bought the dip on that Kraken news for a decent chunk of Ethereum. And so now I'm up a little bit on this current price movement. But, we don't really know what's going to happen in the immediate short term. My conviction long term is fairly positive, right? So, the Bitcoin halving will happen sometime in 2024 and 2025. And we could all of a sudden see a brand new cycle start to take form and blossom in the next couple of years. And so I want to make sure I at least have some exposure to Ethereum and Bitcoin in the short term, but not put too much of my money in too early, just in case 2023 ends up being just more sideways action with a lot of different regulation pieces of news coming out that could potentially FUD the market. So I have cash and liquidity to put in on these dips and continue to dollar cost average until I have a stack of the blue chips, Bitcoin and Ethereum, and a stack of altcoins, whatever altcoins you want to choose to put some money into. I want to make sure I have exposure in that entire basket. So whether it's the end of 2023 or 2024 or 2025, I can enjoy that ride as well. I don't want to miss out on anything. I want to make sure I have cash, so in case prices and assets crash, I'm good. I want to have cryptocurrency in case there's huge movements like this, I'm good. I want to have stocks so I continuously get dividends and make sure I'm hedging versus my bets with this, even though there's correlation between cryptocurrency and stocks now, and I'm good there too. So I'm just trying to be holistic with my approach to investing and making sure I'm not putting too much into any one thing. So, my NFTs, my crypto, my stocks, my cash, all that stuff is divided into certain percentages, which I lock in at the start of the year and make sure I try to stick to that as much as possible. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this stuff around because I think these airdrops might do really, really well. And currently we're seeing some bullish price movements for Ethereum. So it's kind of an exciting time to be in the cryptocurrency and NFT space. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the very, very next one. Peace.